As INFJs, it seems like we're constantly walking into rooms, particularly when we're still in the workspace, like when we're in contact with like the general public. You walk into rooms either at work or in any kind of function and you feel the vibe is off. Everybody seems to be playing this fake melody. Everybody is pretending to be somebody they're not. They're playing a role. It's all orchestrated. Everybody's trying to kind of like be the leader in that situation or to look put together. And like for us, this is so evident. It makes us so uncomfortable that most of the time we, shy away. But in some situations we can't. As I said, for example, this is your work situation. Maybe it's a conference that you're going to and you want to meet some people, and this is what you're seeing all around. So the question is, how do you survive this? Because not everybody has the current luxury to say, oh, I'm just not going to interact with that. So let's really talk about how we as INFJs survive in a world and stay sane that is obsessed with fake vibes, and how we actually get to a place where people, even when we're in that situation, are leaving us alone, respect us, or at least are not bothering us. Before we get started, I'll remind you, if you haven't done this so far, to download the free material that I offer. And if you want to take it to the next level, then check out my courses that have helped thousands of INFJs so far to tap and really evolve on their INFJ epic life journey. Everything you need to know, you can find through the links in the description. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can also find everything you need to know through the links in the description. Number 1, trust the first ping. So when you walk into a room and you feel something is off, trust your feeling. Like, trust your instinct. Energy is never off. Like, when you're aware something is not right, like, go all in. Like, trust your intuition, know something is off, and really trust in that. Because yes, what is the worst that could happen if you're wrong? What if you have a bad feeling, but actually everybody's nice and everybody's kind and everybody's authentic and it's just a little different than what you're used to? Yeah, people are going to come around. Like, you don't have to vibe with everybody right away. Like, it's totally okay to observe the situation, to really walk into it and say, let me check out the scene. I'm not really tapping into what is the vibe. I'm of course focusing first on how I feel in a situation, but still, if you feel something is off, you immediately register it. Like, as INFJs, we sort of know that, but there's this one thing that keeps a lot of us still open. And you know what it is? It's the fact that we want to learn. It's the fact that we think, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something constructive about this environment that I can learn from, something that I haven't figured out yet, something that I'm just blind to. And the fact that we actually approach situations like this are actually the reasons why we're most likely going to be very transparent with ourselves of, is something correct or is something not correct? But I always say, like, it's okay to not know everything. Like, I've really gotten to a place where I've kept myself so open in order not to avoid constructive criticism or not to avoid some kind of things I might be learning from a situation. All of that. Like, it's all good to learn, but we're not going to do that from people who are not willing to stand in their truth. And if you have a feeling of, okay, there's something off here, like, first and foremost, you trust yourself, you protect your energy, and then you take the next step. Number 2, you save your depth for the deserving. So often we see people in this environment, and what is our first thought? Oh, the poor person, they don't feel comfortable being themselves. Let me show them what real authentic connection looks like. Let me show them what real humanity looks like. No, you're not doing this anymore. Like, I know where this is coming from. And yes, it is not that this person is not deserving of authenticity. But most of the time when you're in an environment like this, people have not been able to tap into their authentic selves yet because of what society has taught them. And that's okay. Like, we have complete compassion for that. But just know, when people are not able to tap into their authentic self, they're not going to be able to go there with you either. So we open up and people are going to get triggered. People are going to start manipulating you or trying to distort everything that they're experiencing. Like, it can be this whole thing. So just know, we have compassion for everybody, we have respect for everybody, but please make it known that your depth is something that people have to earn access to. It's just the way it is. And it's not because there's something super special about you. It's just that because in that depth, there's a lot of clarity, there's a lot of transformation that can happen. It is something that is very sacred, and the fact that we can tap into it doesn't mean that other people can tap into it so easily. So we kind of have to allow this connection to happen and not go from a place of, oh, look how open I can be and I can go really deep and be really open because this is what I'm looking to gain from another person. Like, I really want that deep connection. Like, I know that we all want that, but let's just make our life like this. Like, what I'm saying is, we do this through this community, we do it through the choices we do in our life. The more you actually live out your authenticity, the more you're going to be okay when you're in rooms where there is something off and maybe I shouldn't show everybody my vulnerabilities because they are not going to understand where it's coming from. They're going to use it as an invitation to lash out, not because they're necessarily bad people, but because somebody has used that towards them. And so it's a learned mechanism, and we have to slowly guide people into what it means to be okay with being in that depth. And a lot of people will never be able to do that. So we really have to be careful who we open up to and know that this depth of ours is not something we should openly give out, even if we think that people have the potential to meet us there, because people having potential is not the same thing as them being able to really stay in that space independent of what we're doing. And that's what is necessary. Like, people have to be able to meet themselves at that level before they're able to actually meet you at that level and respect that depth of yours. Otherwise, they're just going to pretend it never happened. They're going to pretend like it's nothing like to talk about, or they're just going to forget about it. So like, really be careful about this and just know it's okay. Like, we don't have to make it a big deal, but this is not something you should show people right away, particularly when you feel like the vibe is off. Number 3, master the art of non-engagement. So not every situation where see fake vibes means that we have to do something about it. I remember this when I was still working. Like, I was working in a high-level consulting firm, and all the men around me were all about like, I'm the guy and I'm in full power, and like there was no room for any kind of authenticity or any like leisure kind of energy, and that's not really my vibe. And so I kind of just by default made people uncomfortable, and so like I have really gotten to a place where I said like, oh, come on, like I can't handle this. Like, I'm not going to pretend like this is the norm, what you're all doing here. This is boring. Like, like just do you and I'm going to do me. But this is not something I'm going to participate in. But at the same time, you don't need to be calling that out. You don't have to go up to people and say, in any kind of language, why are you being fake? Why are you not acting the way you are? And most of the time, we're not doing this, right? It's not like an INFJ goes up to another person and says, you're kind of fake. It's just we show that through our behavior by inviting other people to be, more of themselves. Like, sometimes we go overboard and we're being like super leisurely and super like, oh, this is who I am. And through that, we trigger people to kind of like, like also bring that out. But we don't have to do neither or. Like, you can just be in a position where you say like, I'm not going to be this stuck up version of myself, how everybody else is around me, for example, but I'm also not going to go overboard in order to evoke something in them. Just like, now, okay, they're doing their thing. I'm not judging. Like, if that's the way they want to play it, that's on them. Everybody has free will. I'm not saying this is the right path for everybody. I'm just saying this is the way I do things, and I'm not going to budge for anything or anybody. But that also doesn't mean I have to make it known to people that I have an opinion about how they're going through life. Just let them do their thing. Like, just don't worry about it. Number 4, build microenvironments of realness. Like, even if you're in a situation where you're at your job, for example, and there are hundreds of people, there are always going to be people who love who you are, who love your authenticity and would like to have more of that. Those are the people to connect with. Again, we're not going to go all out. We're not going to be the ones who are going to go 10 steps ahead from like authenticity and openness in order to invite others. We're going to do it step by step. We're going to make sure that we're good. We're going to make sure that we respect ourselves and that we're not allowing people to talk to us in any kind of way, no matter what we think is going on behind the curtain. Like, this is all about like, what are people actually saying to you? How are people actually treating you? Not what the reason is of why they're doing certain things. But when you see, oh, there are people who are gravitating towards you, there are people that you're connecting with, then really use that as an opportunity to build those micro environments. Like, you can really survive in a great way by saying like, okay, it's us four, we're going to stick together. When we're in our circle, there's a level of trust, there's a level of respect, there's a level of authenticity, and we all can agree on that. And this is something that you feel, like really trust your feeling and just allow people to go at their own pace. Like, again, you go maybe 10%, let the others go 10% again, and then you can go another 10%. We're not going like all the way forward saying like, look, I'm going to be that open, and then like, you can stay in your space the way you are without challenging yourself, and you can stay safe because I'm the one who's being open all the way. It's not really going to get you what you're looking for. Like, I know that there's this urge sometimes of saying like, I'm not going to play by any rules. I'm going to be everything that I want to be, and I'm going to be like this in this space. But also think about like, if you really have to survive in this environment for, let's say, a year, how are we going to play it in a smart way? How can I go to work, keep my sanity, do what I have to do here, and then go home and like really be in my environment? Just look at it from the perspective of, we're going to survive this, we're going to thrive in this, and as INFJs, we survive in this area the best when we really approach it in a strategic way. And number 5, remember, fakeness always collapses. Like I always say, if you have two people and they're holding to perspectives, then it's always the one who can hold on to their perspective the longest. And the person who can hold on to their perspective the longest is the one whose perspective is actually the authentic one. So if people are pretending to have a certain perspective or be very sure of something, but deep down they know that's actually not true, and I'm doing this out of a defense mechanism, or something is not right, at some point they're going to be outlasted by the person who knows, that's just how I see the world. That's just what I know is true for me. And I can hold on to that. And I can hold on to that even if everybody else is saying something else. There are parts of me that I just know are so true about who I am, how I see the world. And yes, I'm open to ideas and constructive criticism, all of that. But at the end of the day, I know that right now, this is what I believe in, and I'm willing to die on that hill. And this is what we as INFJs have to learn, that there are certain things that when we know that they are right for us, we're not going to budge. And the worst thing that could happen, and I've said this before, is just that the other person holds on to their truth as well. Because it's not said that your truth is the ultimate truth that is always right. Like, sometimes I have values that are priority 1 for me, and there's another person who has different priorities. That's just how it is. Like, for some people, connection is more important than truth. And there's nothing you can actually say that is like saying, oh, but truth has to be number 1. Like, that's just my opinion. That's how I see the world. But somebody who, for example, has FE as their first function, they're always going to value connection over truth at some place. Like, they want connection and then create truth. And that's just, like, who am I to say that this is not something that they're allowed to hold on to, until the rest of their life? But as I said, at the worst case, we're going to have respect for each other, for everybody having their different priorities. And that's the worst thing that could happen. So just know, stay rooted, stay real. And through that, you're going to survive everything. And make sure that that doesn't mean that you're going to allow people to walk all over you. You're not going to allow people to disrespect you. And I've been in situations where I have called out partners in my company in front of 50 men, and like, it is gone right, because in that situation, they just didn't act right. And so this isn't something that you have to say, oh, okay, I have to play by certain rules. Like, some things I'm willing to pay the price for. Like, if I speak up about something that I see that I just find inhumane or that I find not fair, and if this is a reason for me to lose a standing in a situation, or even if you feel like you're going to get fired for it, which in most cases is just not legal. Like, let's be honest, even if you fought this, you would win. But let's not even go this far. Most of the time, we're afraid of what the reactions are going to be from the perspective of, oh, like, how can you call this person out, or how can you say something like this? Like, people might have a different opinion about you. But at the end of the day, this is what I believe in. That's just what it is. Like, I'd rather be disliked for who I am than to be liked for something that I'm not. And if I feel like something is happening that I cannot stand behind, then I will voice it, and I'm going to live with the consequences, because at least then I know I have a clean conscience. That being said, please don't feel obligated to always say something. Like, it's also okay to know this is what I'm currently able to say out loud, and that's okay. But I'm not going to participate in any kind of fake movements that I know are not correct. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, stay rooted in who you are. do your thing, like stay on your path, stay on your lane, and like everything that's fake is going to collapse in itself anyways. That's just what it is. Even if you think that it's not, I promise you at some point it will. People will implode themselves. And you see when people come into power and they're not using it correctly, like at some point it will just implode. Like you cannot build anything sustainable that isn't rooted in truth. And sooner or later it will collapse. Remember, you don't have to match the fake vibe to survive. That's the most important thing. Like you don't have to match that vibe. Be you, do you, you're not alone anymore. There's so many of us, not just INFJs, we're people who have like real core purpose and who want to show up authentically. There are more and more of us. So, just use that time. Be an example of showing up as authentically as you can, and don't let that noise get you off course. Like that's what we can do. Like really stay centered when there's a lot of emotional noise, when there's a lot of emotional chaos. Just like do you, like just disengage and just do what you have to do to get to where you want, and everything else just becomes background noise that you can forget about. Remember, if you want to take it to the next level in creating your INFJ epic life, then either check out all of my programs, the free material, or work with me 101. Everything you need to know you can find through the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then check out the video you see on the screen right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.